So this is the conversion probability matrix. And essentially what this says is that it's a comparison between all the marketing channels that are out there. So we're looking at advertising, we're looking at social media, we're looking at email, and then we're looking at search engine optimization. Those are really the primary channels that you want to be looking at. And what I'm doing here is comparing the conversion probability and also the prospect quality. So the conversion probability on the horizontal axis is really about the likelihood that that person, that prospect, will convert on your website. So are they going to do the action that you want them to do? Are they going to buy your product? Are they going to watch your video? Are they going to download your ebook? Whatever it is, how likely is it that they're going to do that? So that's what that is measuring on the horizontal axis. And then on the vertical axis is the prospect quality. And that really is about how likely that person is matching to your ideal customer. The bottom left of this chart is the place you don't want to be, right? So that would be a very poor conversion probability and then a very poor prospect quality. So you don't want to be there. On the other end of the spectrum, you want to be in the top right of this chart, right? And so we'll get to search in a little bit and why that is so good. But let's start with advertising first. Advertising is sort of hit or miss, right? So it's not so great with conversion probability. It's on sort of the left side of the chart, and it actually goes up from the bottom to the top in terms of prospect quality. So first of all, conversion probability for advertising is very low, very poor, because most people don't click on ads. It's very rare that someone clicks on an ads and actually buys something. And the other reason for prospect quality being hit or miss is that sometimes if you do the targeting for the customer yourself, you may not know how to use that targeting platform like Facebook or Google AdWords, and so you may be pretty bad at actually trying to find the right people. However, if you hire an agency to do that, the prospect quality could be very high because they're obviously very experienced and they know what they're doing. So that's why advertising sits on the spectrum of prospect quality. So let's take a look at social media. Social media sits on the upper left of the quadrant here, and social media is pretty good for prospect quality. And the reason for that is because those followers decided to follow you. They actually consciously clicked that follow button and decided to follow you on social media. So they are inherently your type of ideal customer. So the prospect quality is very high. Conversion probability is a little bit better than advertising, but still not quite that great. And the reason for that is because of the user behavior on social media. Think about when you're using social media, when you're on Facebook, when you're on Instagram and Twitter. You're sometimes in line at the coffee shop, you're in bed before you go to sleep at night, you're waiting for a meeting to start, and you're browsing social media. You're not really in the mood to buy something. You're not really ready to get out your credit card and make a purchase. Which is why social media is not that great for conversion probability. It's really best suited for brand awareness and creating sort of interest in a brand that you may have never seen before, but not great for conversions. On the other hand, email is excellent. So for the same reason that social media is really good for prospect quality, it's same for email as well, because people decided to opt into your email list. They gave you your email list, their email address, for a specific reason, to receive information from you at a later point in time. So they are inherently your ideal customer because they said, yes, I want to receive information from you. And in fact, if you want to take this class to the next level and you really want to dive deep into permission marketing, as it's referred, there's a great book by Seth Godin called Permission Marketing. It was actually written, I think, over 10 years ago, but it's still highly relevant today, even more so than it ever has been. So check that out. It's available in audiobook too, so I really recommend that. I'll put a link to the book if you guys want to download that from Amazon or buy it from Amazon. I think it's an excellent choice. So if you want to check that out, it's definitely worth it. And I encourage you guys to actually talk about that within the forum too. Like if you did read the book, engage with other students that are taking this course and see what you guys thought about that. So on the other hand, search is the best in terms of conversion probability and prospect quality. And the reason for that is because you're actually searching for the product or service in that very moment. So when you're interested in buying something, you're typing it into Google in that very moment, and whatever Google returns, as long as Google does their job of returning a relevant result, there's a very good chance that you're going to buy that product or use that service. So that is something that you really need to take into consideration, is that search is a very powerful tool in terms of conversion probability. And obviously they are your ideal customer because that person is typing in the product or service that you're showing up for. So that is why I really believe SEO is so powerful. It's also free, right? You don't have to pay to do search engine optimization. This is all stuff that you can do on your website yourself. And so the rest of this course, we're going to focus on how to get your website ranked on the first page and what are the specific things that you can do to optimize your site. As you guys are very aware, search engine optimization produces the ability to rank on the first page of Google, and that is obviously very important. The first page of Google receives about 92% of all the clicks. That's a significant amount of all the clicks. If you think about all the pages that are on Google, from page 1 to infinity, there's a large number of websites that are out there, but the entire first page just contains about 10 websites. The first position, the first organic position, receives about 33% of all those clicks. The second position receives about 17%, and it just keeps dropping from there. So if you're not getting the traffic that you actually hope to be getting, the reason is probably because you're not on the first page of Google. And that's exactly what this class focuses on, is understanding how to optimize your website so that you do rank on the first page. The other important thing to note is that most people actually do not click on the second page. Only about 75% of the users stay on the first page. The other 25% do go beyond that, but it's very unlikely that they're going to click on anything, even close to page 10 or anything like that. So being on the first page is very important. Just a quick thing to note about the organization of the Google search engine results page, as it's known. It's called a SERP, S-E-R-P. Is that the first couple of results often are going to be advertisements. That is not what this class is about. We're not going to focus on Google AdWords. So as you can see in the first two results, there are actually ads as indicated by the little ad icon. You actually pay to be there. So that is one way to get to the first position of Google. But again, you have to pay Google to be there. That's a whole other course that we are not going to focus on. What I want to focus on in this course is search engine optimization, which is doing the free things to get to the first page. So everything else on the first page that doesn't have the ad icon is websites that got to the first page because Google thought they deserved to be there because they were the most relevant. They have their pages optimized in a variety of ways that we're going to cover in the rest of the course. I've taught these digital marketing classes to over 80,000 small business owners. Take a look at what they have to say.
I'm a student at Baruch College actually, and I took digital marketing class. It took me a whole semester to learn the material that Steven just taught us in 2 hours.
This is my second class that I'm taking with Steven.
I would definitely recommend this to my families, friends, and coworkers. If you have a small business, it can only help you by improving the visibility of your website.
A+.
You're going to learn strategy, content marketing, search engine optimization, email, and social media. I'm proud to announce that subtitles are available for 11 languages in my course. In total, my courses have the potential to reach 5.2 billion people worldwide. That's 65% of the world's 8 billion population. I've included languages like English, Mandarin Chinese, Hindi, Spanish, French, Bengali, Russian, Portuguese, Indonesian, Urdu, and Japanese. I know you're serious about digital marketing, so I want to give you 20% off the full in-depth course. Click the link below to sign up.